Hello and welcome back to Outhoused Studio devlogs. We've got a very special treat today. It kind of happened by accident. So what happened is I asked Ivan, would you please show us, how you go about creating these beautiful landscapes that you've seen in the past and that we will continue to keep seeing, obviously, and I was expecting it would be like a 5 to 10 minute video, but it turned into this beautiful long form tutorial that I'm super excited to share with you guys, so check it out.
So I'm going to explain how is the workflow of creating the backgrounds for our game. It's mainly focused on creating images using AI, and then I import those images to Unit, and I create some flow maps for animating or giving the illusion of life to something like clouds moving horizontally, some fire flowing to the sides or swirling, and maybe grass. If there is some grass, I could maybe make the flow map move the bushes and the grass to the sides, and it is easier than creating flipbooks. It's cheaper than creating flipbooks, and it's faster than trying to create something I mean, it's easier and faster than creating an entire composition inside Unity by slicing every asset and creating an asset data bank. Okay, and creating an asset data bank is something more versatile because you could create something that's procedural, you could create something that's more flexible, you could create any type of environment. However, we are trying to save time here. Um, and since we are trying to create also an MVP, you can create the image on any platform, on any online service, or even locally using Automatic 1111 or Conf UI. I would recommend Conf UI for something more complex. If you have something like a huge and a good graphics card, or if you don't have something so expensive, you could try using Automatic 1111 for a less sophisticated workflow. Okay. I'm going to use this platform. I am a paid user. However, you could also use it as a free user. I think that the only limitation they have is that you can't. I think that you can't really generate four images at once. You can generate just one image per generate button, and you can't generate more than 200 images per day. when when we start creating the images, you have other solutions, other alternatives to playground.com. Okay, this site right here, this address right here. For example, you have Leonardo, you have Scenario. However, I don't recommend those. I'm not. I will not tell you that you shouldn't use them, but I will tell you that they don't provide the service that I want. Firstly, because they are expensive. Secondly, because they don't give me the control that I need to edit my images. Thus, if I can't edit my images, it's pretty useless. And also, they are trying to provide you something like Midjourney, that they give you an out of the box solution that you don't require to edit the images. However, it's not true, because if you want to get the images and make them work on your project, you should invert the priority and say that the images that you are going to output through the image generation tool should be the art direction, not the inverse. Thus, that's the reason why I'm trying to use other models that allow me to, for example, choose the Stable Diffusion XL Vanilla, because this way I can create a prompt that is going to output exactly what I'm looking for: the art style, the shapes, the way it's going to apply the colors and the color palette and everything else. I don't have to worry about something like an imposed art style. And even on this site, they already have something that is like an imposed art style by using their Playground V2 model. They're also Playground V2.5 model, and they are not only trained models, they are also workflows. When you use the Stable Diffusion XL, you just choose the configuration scale. It's how it's going to bend the image generation towards your your prompt, and the amount of steps to generate it's exactly like Conf UI or any other Stable Diffusion UI you have around there. And refinement is because since it's Excel, okay, Stable Diffusion Excel is generate images in two steps. One step is to create something that matches the prompt, and the second pass it starts refining to make it more pretty, not exactly following the prompt, but try to refine it to make it more beautiful. Um, Also, if you start looking to other models, you'll notice that they change the workflow. They change the CFG scale, they change the way it's going to use the steps. And then when you go to another model, they are going to use just one option, that is the scale, the resolution, and if it should be fast or high quality. The idea is that they are not only using models, biased models toward an art style, they are also using workflows. Like in here, you have just a single pass render, which you write your prompt, you hit the generate button, and it's going to generate for you just on a single pass. It's going to take 75 steps to create for you an image. Okay, that's good. But when you sooner or later, as you get used to using Stable Diffusion, you will understand that images are not as good as possible when you try to get something from a single pass render. They usually get more clearer, they get more neat. It's easier to understand the structure of the image if you try to create something on a more than a single render step, like 2, 3, or 4 renders. Okay. Firstly, we'll show you how usually go the workflow. Firstly, I try to create many images, trying to find out the best image that I could use for a background. And then once you have an image, you slice it into smaller images. I'm not using a huge resolution. You will notice that I usually generate images at 1024 to 256. And the reason is because it's easier to work with smaller images, because the system knows that since you have smaller pixels, small amount of pixels, they should prioritize the structure and the silhouettes instead of the details. Then once you split the image in 4 square images, you will start upscaling each of them on a, let's say, a fixing and cleaning up upscale. I will show you how it should look like. So here is the cleaned slice, and here is the previous slice. I will upscale that on a way that you can compare each of them. Okay. Almost there. Okay, right here. This one is the 256 by 256 slice. And you will notice how it got cleaner when you compare to the upscaled version. It just removed a lot of the noise. It started making more complete lines, and you got more bold contours, and it's less texturized, as you may notice. And the reason is because stable diffusion in most of those image generators are literally born from, they came from softwares of denoising images. They were most of the eldest or the first image generator tools. They started as image enhancers. Their role was to remove the noise of images and fix what's wrong with the image. Maybe black splotches, maybe chromatic aberration caused by lenses, removing flares, removing everything that shouldn't be on an image. Then someone one day said, "And what if I could pour some dirty of the image over the image on purpose just to make it wrongly generate an image?" And then we came up to the denoisers. And that's the reason why you will notice that when you get an image like this, you make an image to image generation, upscale it to the maximum scale that you could, and then you press generate. Let me cancel the others. You will notice that the next generation is going to be a way more cleaner than the previous image. And it's completely normal because that's the behavior of the image generators. They are nonetheless um, image fixers and tweakers. They are not exactly image generators at all. They just are repurposed as image generators, but they are in their core nature just image tweakers. And it's like when you give the stable diffusion something like a noise image, you're just asking stable diffusion to psychograph an image for you. And when you start slicing the images, you will end up with something that isn't going to match the seams, because once you start upscaling, you will notice that the pixels will not match anymore, because you are giving the AI a chance, an opportunity to be creative on trying to imagine what should be there on those pixels. Thus, if you stitch those images together, you will notice the seams. Okay? It's easy to notice the seams. And within the same tool, I can use the simple eraser to erase the seams. And use this guy right here. Okay, and then once I inpaint it, it's going to create the missing pixels for me, creating something that's seamless. And I don't have to worry about creating something on top of the seams or blurring something. It's already creating that for me. That was one of the reasons why it's pretty hard to edit and fix the images made in UR in AI, because it's not like in Photoshop that you have many layers and you could just say, okay, I have to fix the roof of the house. Okay, I have just to fix the fire. I just have to fix the rocks. And it's easy because I've just separated them on layers. And that's not what you have in AI generated images. That's the reason why most of the time you'll have to come up with a lot of images before you start editing. It's going to make your life easier and make the workflow even faster. Then once you have something like this, you just have to wield one image to another, because now you have a single image right here. I'm going to again erase it exactly on top of the seam. Get again the image generator area, and then in paint, and it's going to stitch one image to another. Okay. Now right here, erase the seams. You don't have to be so precise, but it's it's better when you you are precise. Okay, generate it again. Also, the canvas is a pretty comfortable tool, because it's just a matter of using Shift and Control and Alt, and you can snap to the grid. You can make it snap to the horizontal or vertical to create those perfect horizontal or vertical lines. And nearly everything that you need is just right click on top of everything, and they have a bunch of options. And I wouldn't say that upscaling something by 4 or using any of those upscalers are pretty worth, except for those that allow you to upscale an image and add detail. I will show you more about that. Here we are. We have a fully functional background for our game. Of course, I will show you the entire process of generating the image. Firstly, I come up with something that is the right aspect ratio, because the aspect ratio matters. When you make something square, it's going to make an image biased towards a square composition. If you make something on different composition on different aspect ratios, it's going to generate something perfect that fits better for those pixels. And I will show you the model, the images that are going to be generated using this prompt right here. It's a huge prompt. The reason why I use a huge prompt is because if you make something pretty small or something pretty short, you are going to have something that's more creative. And every time you hit the generate button, you are going to have something completely new. However, that's not the goal. I want something that's going to follow exactly the same art direction. I don't want deviations. I want something that you look at side by side with other backgrounds and you say that the same artist created all of the backgrounds. That's the reason why you create something so specific. And you use mostly you are mostly teaching the system how to create the image. Like I want a clean composition of stylized simplified forms. It's a technique. It's a drawing technique that's mostly used for Mike Mignola and also used for most of the of Frank Miller artworks. And economic detail, another technique. For neat and clear tangents, another technique that we are looking for something that doesn't collide one edge with the other. Let me just erase it. Also, not only the positive prompt, we have also the negative prompt right here. And the negative prompt is also asking for something that isn't blurry, isn't something that's flat, two dimensional, or looking like a photo and lacking depth of perspective. And then I just hit the generate button and it's going to generate four images that follows exactly the same art style without deviations. Okay. Then once I have something, I can choose. No, none of them. Try again. The idea is that you usually start creating many images before starting the editing because it's easier, and not only easier, you are most of the time trying to also create props which you could slice and create a montage that you just, I mean, I want this castle on my image because I like the silhouette. I think that the only thing that should be saved from this entire image is this castle. I can just glue the image within the next image that I'm going to use. I like it. It's pretty good because, however, the only problem is because I don't have too much floor right here, and I think it's too close of the camera. I need something that's more, it's farther. Yeah, try again. Also, the paid plan, you don't have limitations, while most of the other services around are trying to ask you to pay per image. And also, you on Leonardo and Scenario, you have the ability to create and train your own model. However, they do something that I don't think that's right. That they do not allow you to download the models that you trained. It's like saying, "Hey, I trained your model, and if you want to use it, it's just on my platform. You can't use it on any other platform or even locally." And I don't like that idea because, first of all, I really think that they should allow you to to download the model that you trained. Imagine that you are using something that you want to. I mean, on Leonardo.ai or in Scenario, you have many models that they use as presets. Those models, they pay for those guys, for those creators, by image generated using their models. Okay. However, how uh, do you do you take part of this team and start earning your own money by providing them new models that you could make money on top of each image generated? And there is no way. You should just be someone that they select by hand saying, "Oh, your model is good, and I think that you should take part of our presets. And now we are going to pay to you 1 cent per image generated using it." I don't think that's fair if you have something like that service and another service that trains the AI, and I can't just download it or say, okay, keep it and start selling my model, and I want to earn every cent on using this model. And the models are public. You can't really say that it's private and no one should ever use it. It's I don't know. I don't think that's right. Um, Not yet. I think, yeah, one more generation. The idea is having something that I can animate, uh, like on a flowy repetitive pattern, like clouds, fire, grass, other fluids. I don't think that really work well. Let's start looking closely. Um, Not this one too. Not this one. Not even this one. Next. I will try to create something less ominous, because the reason why it's so weird, it's lacking a lot of of ground. This one's good, but I don't know. Okay, I don't think that's bad at all. It could be used, but I will give it a last try. However, I will change the idea. The environment art of the charge. Oops, connection lost. Hold on. Okay. Oh, and that's another good side of using the playground logic. It's because even if your connection goes out, compared to the others, you just don't lose everything on the UI. Because on the others, you usually have to fill again all the negative prompt, all the positive prompt, update again all of the parameters. It's pretty tiring. Okay, charred ruins of the charred ruins of a gloomy hamlet hit by a wildfire. So this way we are going to tell the system that the most it is a completely normal behavior of the stable diffusion is that the tokens on the most left should be prioritized. That's the reason why I moved the wildfire to the least position, allowing the system to prioritize the idea of a shared ruins. I want something that has more structures and architecture than fire. Let's test again. And the reason is also because wildfire is usually something that you just see from distance, the sky completely full of flames. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why the background is fully red. Okay, now we have some floor, some ground. Yeah, yeah, much better, much better. However, I don't have any fire at all. Okay, let's check again. If I can add a bit of fire. Yeah, it's something that I can fake the 3D. Okay, just one more time. That's a pretty generic composition. I want something that I could have on the center to make the focal where the focal point is centered. Let's check again. Yeah, it's too tiled. Yeah, too tiled. Too many castles. It's not looking real. To reduce the tiling, I will have to reduce the the horizontal scale. Uh-huh. Maybe something like this. I will try to create some protagonism on the image. Yeah. Alpha mausoleum. The middle of the church means of a gloomy hamlet inflamed by a wildfire. This one is good, but mm, the only problem is because we need something that the horizon line lies almost on this height of the image, like this one, and the perspective isn't exactly like this or like this because it's too exaggerated. It could work probably. It could work, but I don't know. It's too. This one is a good choice. Yeah, good choice. Probably we'll stick with this and this. Just another chance. I will probably try on an image to image because I like this composition. It has like a central focus. This one. I will get it. Okay, I will just press image to image and tell the system that I want something that doesn't really need to be exactly like the image. So 100% means that it will generate exactly the same image. Anything at 0% will generate, it will just ignore the image. And anywhere in between will make something like a blend. And that's the reason why I just chose 30% because it's going to create something reasonably different. Okay, I will try to make it a bit more like this and try again. And that's also something interesting because you can create something that's good uh, on one resolution, and if you leave it low enough, it's going to fix the perspective and the stretching caused by the distortion of the aspect ratio. We don't have to worry about the the stretching of the canvas. Yeah, I don't like the idea of having crosses on the game, even if it's goth. It's not a good ideal. It should be something um, that doesn't doesn't make some allusion to the Catholic art style. I mean, it should be Baroque, of course, and Gothic and etc. But I don't want raw holy symbols of some real religion. Yeah, I think that I will stick with this. I like the way the sky is flowing and the flames on the sides. Yeah, this one is more dynamic. It looks like a collision. Yeah, that's the best shot. I will stick with it. Then once we have the image that we want to slice, to split, and start working, firstly we are going to remove where all the elements that we don't want, and it's easy. We usually use for something like this that those are the pretty contrasting elements. It's just using the object eraser. It's just a matter of selecting only the only the object that you want to remove, and precisely as possible, because it's going to make some comparisons with the pixels around it to know the extinction of the object. Okay, now it's going to be removed. The erase is on the other side. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm going to slice it because I don't see any other detail that I should remove. Oh yeah, I should remove the foreground rocks because it's going to break the illusion of depth. It shouldn't be so close of the camera. It should be far. Um, okay. Then you just have to erase it. I'm not going to use the object eraser, but I'm going to use the simple eraser. Okay. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Here and here. Here, get out, get out. I don't want to. Awesome. Now I'm going to fix the remove the space by just doing this. Awesome. Try again. Outpaint. Yeah. Let's check if there is something that bothered me. No, we have just fire. That's good. Yeah, just fire. Yeah, just fire. Much better. This one, this silhouette isn't really good right here. I should remove it. Okay, get out. I don't want you. Try again. Okay. And that's one of the best parts of working with small resolutions, is because since the system already know that they don't have to spend too many pixels with too many details and noise details. It's going to, most of the times when you outpaint something, it's going to try to make the sensation of completeness. If it sees like those rocks, those bricks, it's going to try to complete their their pattern. And also you can insert within the outpaint the entire information of the scene within a single render. And you can't, it isn't safe to render something like, I mean, I will try to outpaint that just to show to you. When you start outpainting an image, it isn't safe to try to outpaint too many pixels without enough information on the other side of the canvas. I will show you. And the idea is that you should always outpaint something, but with the most part of the canvas already of the render area filled with the pixels of the previous image, because everything on this side is going to be pretty chaotic. It's not going to even try to match the rest of the image. It's going to be something like a completely different image. Do you see? It's it's it doesn't make sense. It's trying to make its best, but it's not what we are looking for. That's the reason why you should always try to do that gradually and slowly. If I want to expand this image, I should slightly move to the left, not too much, and try to increase the pixels, but gradually. To insert into the into the outpaint information more info about the already rendered area than the not rendered area here. Now that we have an image like this, I should slice it. I'm going to Control C, Control V. Okay, Control C, Control V. And then Control C, and then Control V again. And then Control C and Control V again. Let me check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. E1 is going to be used as like a reference. Okay, now it's time to slice it. So crop the image. 200. It should be sliced on something that is square. I will make it easier. Let me just grab an image. Control C, Control V. Now it's easier. It's going to snap the tools on this guy right here. Let's do it. Yeah, not all tools are so fancy to copy most of the already existing UX of the softwares that we have around. They are like pioneers in trying to figure how should the first softwares dealing with AI should look like, and how should be the UX. Okay. Now you here, here, and here, and here. Now we have 4 slices of the same image. Okay. With those 4 slices, I'm going to upscale them. I could use many services and platforms around just to upscale those images. However, I am going to make it as easy as possible because it's just an MVP. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this image, use the image to image generation, and instead of using an image that is 256 by 256, I'm going to make it a wider version. And use something that's around 60. I think 60 is good. Let's do it. Oh, and since it's already the final, I'm going to increase the refinement and the amount of steps. Of course, it's going to remove the noise. It's pretty important to increase the steps because I'm using a huge amount of strength of the image, of the guiding image. And when you stretch the image, the first thing that's going to happen, it's going to get blurry or pixelated. And if you increase too much, as I increase it, the percentage of strength of the image, it's going to be blurry. And the steps helps you to remove that blurriness, but it isn't going to make any miracle. Okay, it's something. Okay, um, it's with 60%, now with 70%, just to check. Usually I try something like 75%, but I'm just going to show to you the difference of using different percentages. Okay, and now another upscale using 80%. You will notice that in this image the bricks just became sky. You will notice also that as much as start increasing the fidelity with the previous image, you are going to get something that's more noisy. You know, it's even more noisy than the others. However, since I've increased the amount of steps and the amount of detail, it's going to create those bold outlines. It's these bold contours. And it's not really degrading the quality of the image because I can compare with the upscaled version. And if I just do something like this, okay, I'm not going to be so precise, but you will notice that's the original image. Notice the textures, like those black dots that look like holes on the holes or cracks on the wall. They are getting eliminated. The wall is getting smoother, as you may notice. Now we have something that is cleaner. Okay, I'm going to stick with 80%. And again, next image. Again, increase it to 124, 80%, and generate. Next image. Again, expand it and generate. I will select the next image again and generate. Oh, oops. I forgot to upscale it. Okay. Okay. Now it's time to stitch all those images, and it's easy. It's just a matter of stitching all those images together. The next one with, oh, and not all at once. They should be fixed one by one, not all at once. Okay, you will notice that here we can clearly notice the seam. I'm going to fix it. Oh, not no 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 no, not remove the background. Thank you. Yeah, here. Okay. Now erase it. Simple eraser, and then zooped and zooped, zooped and zooped and zooped, zooped and zooped. Try to always create some footer. I don't know if I could call that as a footer, but try to recreate, reconstruct the tops and the bottoms to make a smoother transition and avoid noticeable seams. Because even if you are trying to remove the seams, it's going to create seams. It's unavoidable. However, not so perceivable. Okay, fix. Okay, the seams are pretty perceivable. Okay, we can notice the difference in color, the blurriness. We can fix that later. Just stick the image to the other. Now erase it again. Okay, and don't forget to stretch the borders. Okay, that's enough. And generate again. Okay, good. Next. And ta-da! Move it to the middle. And erase it. Okay, remove the borders. Remove the borders. Okay, good. And we are good to go. Okay, it's it's kind of good. I don't like it. those those things. They look like fire sticks. I'm going to erase it using the simple object eraser. Again, reducing the area to be more precise, and always one in item at a time. Trying to remove too many scattered items isn't a good idea. They are going to leave something like that's blurry. It's always good to remove one by one. Okay, almost there. Okay, now we have a background that's ready for being implemented into unit. It's just a matter of slicing it again into 4 equal parts, and then we start adding the flow maps to the flames, and then creating the shader for all of them. I'm going to first of all show to you another workflow, because this is the workflow we are going to use for the MVP, because it's faster, even if that took too much time. But there is another workflow which you just grab that image, the first render in a low resolution, and we download it. And then we go to another service that is the Krea Studio. Okay, they have a free plan. There are others upscalers around there, but they don't really upscale, trying to use AI to imagine the missing pixels, or how the pixels should look like when you increase the resolution. So we will try to make it. Let me show you how it should look like. First, I'm going to provide the image. Uh, there is a maximum resolution they can provide you, that is 4K, even for the paid plan. The the free plan just allows you maybe around 5 images. However, if you go for the paid plan, you can create then, and it's going to consume some time from their CPU and GPUs, and it's measured in amount of hours you may consume from their GPUs by month. So this month I have 2 hours to consume, and I've already used 0.51. When you provide the image, you should choose to upscale it. If you are eager to reach the endpoint, it should be 4 times, but I'm going to make it slowly because as many steps as you add between the final render and the previous render, it's going to output something better. I'm going to just select something that gives the AI more creativity. However, I'm going to make it resemble more and more of the previous image. I want the structure, I want the composition. Reduce the clarity because the clarity is going to increase the sharpness of the image, and I don't like it because it tends to look like those algorithms that increase the sharpness of the image and everything start looking like a bright contour. And use exactly the same prompt. Don't use the prompt that they generated for you automatically using ChatGPT. You should use your own prompt. Under the hood, they are using something like a stable diffusion XL model. However, fine-tuned just for increasing the resolution of images. Thus, it's trying to avoid laws of ambient occlusion, laws of sharp edges, pixelated things, noisy things, and everything will get smoother and sharper. You will notice this right now. I'm showing this workflow because it's the workflow that I'm going to adopt once we are going to something like an alpha or a beta version, not for the MVP because it's going to take much more time to produce the images. So here's the previous, here's the tweaked one. Okay, you will notice it added a lot of texture, and one of the things that is more important is the clarity. It's much better for UX when you have something that the users can understand the curves and the contours of the objects. I will save it and then I'm going to use it again because now I'm going to upscale this image to 4K. Again, I'm going to leave it to be creative. I'm going to increase it to 60%, reduce the sharpness, and provide my own prompt. Color correction because it tends to lose the color palette of the previous image. Thus, it's trying to color correct by using the previous color palette. And now it's trying to output a 4K image. Just 4K on a single axis, not on the height of the image. But it's already too much resolution. I think that not all the users would ever use anything above 19 HP by 1000 HP. I think that I've seen somewhere on the internet that 16% of the Steam users are still using the 2K resolution. Okay, it's much better, much better. And now it's completely different when comparing the the noise on the walls with the noise that we had on the previous image, because this noise isn't ruining the visibility of the image. This noise became through reflections and occlusions, ambient occlusion. It's more refined and easier to understand. Okay. Now it's just a matter of bringing the image to play canvas to compare. Here we are. And that's one of the problems why you shouldn't try to work with too high resolutions, because on playground.com, they don't allow you to upload too many images of 4K resolution. They they have some limits. Okay, and I don't think that I need to fix anything in this image. I think that's pretty good. And I can just imagine that I will add the flow maps to those fires and to the sky above to look like some ominous shadows and swirling with the shader. Even if that's not exactly the same art style, the same art direction, it's more final, it's more polished. I think that's all that I had to show. The next step is going to be the flow map creation, and then the optimization of the image size, because of course this image is huge and pretty memory intensive. I will I will show you, because this one, if I download it, both are using exactly the same configuration, and since both have the same 4K resolution, as you may notice, both have around 6 megabytes of memory usage, and that's not a good idea. We should try to make it consume less memory, and it's easy. It's just a matter of adding some jittering and removing the PNG by removing the alpha channel, because we don't have some cutout here. It's purely the image that we are going to insert into Unity, and we can clearly see the image animated. Um, Thanks. I think that's all that I should show you.
On behalf of Outhoused Studios, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and we'll catch you next time.